Hey guys, I'm Kelly Anthony. This is the Anthony Kitchen, and today we are whipping up a party favorite, perfect for spring brunches, summertime lunches, showers, and everything in between. It's marshmallow fruit dip, and it is as delicious as it is easy to make. Not only is this dip delicious, but are you ready? It only has 3 ingredients, guys. That's it. So first, I'm gonna show you how to whip up this super easy dip, and then I'm gonna show you how to put together a gorgeous fruit platter, perfect for a party. As I mentioned, this fruit dip has only 3 simple ingredients. What you're gonna need to have on hand is a block of cream cheese at room temperature. Room temperature is very important when it comes to mixing in cream cheese into any kind of dip. It's gonna help it to stay smooth and creamy, and everything will mix beautifully and evenly. Now, if your house is anything like mine and you keep it at a cool 70 or below, then you might have to pop your cream cheese into the microwave for a few seconds for it to come to room temperature, and that's totally fine. I had this one sitting out for about an hour. It still wasn't at room temperature by the time I needed to use it, so I just popped it in the microwave for 15 seconds and it is perfect and ready to go. Another little hack, if you're trying to get cream cheese to come to room temperature fast, is to cut it into tablespoon-sized pieces. Breaking that big block up will help it to warm up a little bit faster than it would have if you just left it whole. Next on the list, one of our favorite ingredients around here, marshmallow fluff. So delicious in a peanut butter sandwich, but even more delicious inside this bowl with cream cheese. And last on the list, vanilla yogurt. You're gonna start by adding your cream cheese to a big bowl. Next, we're gonna try something out and see if it works. I've got some cooking spray here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray my spatula because marshmallow fruit dip is very sticky. So let's see if this little experiment will help to get it off the spoon and into the bowl a little easier. Like magic, folks. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Look how easy that was. So much better than getting your hands in there. So I'm just gonna set that aside. And last, we're gonna need about a 1/4 cup of vanilla yogurt. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pop this mixer on and we're just gonna mix until everything is smooth and well combined. So fluffy. Perfect. That takes no time at all. Super quick and super easy, y'all. That's it for the dip. You can totally spruce it up if you'd like by adding some lemon zest, maybe a splash of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt. Any of those things would be great in there. You could even add some strawberry or raspberry jam if you want it to be a flavored fruit dip, or use strawberry cream cheese. There are so many possibilities to take this fruit dip and make it your own. But today we are keeping it simple, and it is going to be the star of the show on a gorgeous fruit platter. Let me show you how you make it. We've got strawberries, always gorgeous on a fruit platter. You cannot have a fruit platter without strawberries, I insist. We also have some pineapple, some grapes. I went with red and green because I love color on a fruit platter. Some blueberries. These aren't for dipping, they're really just more for nibbles and color. A little cantaloupe, and we're also gonna cut up a few apples. I prepared all of this fruit last night, meaning if it needed to be cut, I went ahead and cut it. If it needed to be washed, I definitely went ahead and washed it. Then, before popping it into the fridge, I made sure that the berries were super dry because you don't want them to get mushy or moldy overnight. And this just makes it so much easier if you're preparing for a party to knock out as much prep as you possibly can in advance. Same goes for this dip. This dip can be made up to 3 days in advance. no problem. However, when it comes to apples, apples tend to brown up really fast. So I always save chopping the apple for the day of. And sometimes I'll even go the extra mile to fill up a big bowl of ice water, squeeze in some fresh lemon juice, and just drop those cut up apple slices right inside. That acid from the lemon juice helps those apples to stay a little prettier a little longer. All right, so we've got all this gorgeous fruit off to the side, and I'm just gonna cut up my apple into slices. The apple slices are coming together. I'm cutting them into about a 1/4 inch thick because I want to be able to get a really good scoop of that marshmallow fruit dip on there. When I'm thinking about putting together a fruit platter, what I am really thinking about is all the colors of the rainbow and how many of them we can possibly fit on one platter. We're going for all of them. Okay, the apple looks great. Now let me show you how to assemble. Here I have a great big white platter. I love using white because the color of food really pops against it. As you can see, I have a little pineapple top. Anytime I'm taking the time to cut up pineapple, which is always for a party and to make a fruit platter, I just take off the top and it makes this beautiful little eye-catching centerpiece part here that we're gonna use to build around with our fruit. Now I have a nice footed bowl. If you don't have a footed bowl, that's okay. Just grab a little bowl, ramekin size, and set it off to the side here. So before we begin building, I'm gonna talk to you just a little bit about the weight of the items. So whenever you're building a platter, you wanna start with the heaviest, most weightiest looking items first. So in this case, it's the top of our pineapple and our bowl for our marshmallow fruit dip. Let's go ahead and add the dip to the bowl before we start building the fruit around it. Okay, so I'm just gonna spoon this in here. Makes just enough for this bowl. How perfect is that? I got lucky. And we'll put that right in there. Ooh, and give it a little swirl on the top. Make it look extra fancy. Okay, and now this is an extra special little touch. You do not have to do it, but just so everybody knows that there's some extra delicious goodness going on in this dip right here, I'm gonna top it with a few marshmallows, just some miniature marshmallows right in the center over the top. This gives it a little bit of depth and it makes it a little bit more exciting to eat, I think. So now we're gonna start adding the fruit to the platter. Now remember what I was saying about the weightiest items going in first. So that's gonna be our strawberries, our cantaloupe, and the pineapple. So I'm gonna start with the strawberries. I love the look of the red strawberries against that white fruit dip. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these first. And I'm just kind of tucking them in if we're looking like we have an open gap here. So that's the strawberries. Now let's move on to the pineapple. I feel as though it's very fitting for the pineapple to surround the pineapple. So now I'm gonna come to the other side of my dish and sort of balance this out. With the strawberries, I really try to be kind of particular about the way that I arrange them. When it comes to the pineapple, not so much. It's kind of a slippery fruit, so you just pile that on there. Okay, next on the list, cantaloupe. If you're not a fan of cantaloupe, you could totally do honeydew or just leave it off. I don't recommend watermelon for a fruit platter. It's really much too watery to be able to dip in there, unfortunately. So let's just save that for another dessert. Speaking of which, you might want to check out our fresh watermelon margaritas available on this YouTube channel. Next on goes the apples. Again, I'm balancing everything out. So I'm just gonna add these apples over here off to the side. And I'm not gonna be real particular with the way that I lay them. And now the finishing touch, the grapes. For the grapes, I have clusters of green and red, and what I do whenever I get grapes is I go ahead and wash them right away, and then I just cut them into little snack size clusters. And I do this for my kids pretty much every week, but I also do it for a party because this makes it really easy for guests to just come in and get the one little serving that they want instead of putting their hands all over all the grapes. So we're just gonna lay some grapes down here in the center. And again, I'm gonna just build up some height. And last but not least, I'm just gonna sprinkle some blueberries around. I love blueberries, so I had to find a spot for them on this platter. These are just gonna be just in little scatters, creating little pockets of color. So that's it, guys. That's all there is to making a gorgeous fruit platter, so perfect for so many occasions. If you need the written recipe for this dip, you can find it at theanthonykitchen.com along with hundreds of other recipes perfect for entertaining. Now, before we go, I think it's best we try the dip and see how we did. You might want to go ahead and put a spoon in here as well, because it's going to be real hard for your guests not to want to double dip in that. It is so delicious, y'all. And it's hard to believe that we got that much flavor with just 3 simple ingredients. Remember, if you like this video, pretty please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and theanthonykitchen.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.